The alcoholic, dimension-hopping mad scientist Rick Sanchez could be called a lot of things. Compassionate, friendly, and filled with basic human decency are not among them.
Hey Jerry, don't worry about it. So what if the most meaningful day of your life was a simulation operating at minimum capacity?
Over 2 seasons, Rick and Morty have killed countless people, destroyed whole civilizations, and just made some pretty terrible life decisions. Here are some of the worst things Rick and Morty have ever done. Murdered a bunch of bureaucrats. Rick's brazen disregard for most everything is established in the pilot, when he drags Morty out of class for an expedition to Dimension 35C, so Rick can use him to smuggle some powerful mega-seeds through interdimensional customs.
And I'm gonna need you to put them way up inside your butthole, Morty.
My butt?
Put them way up inside there, as far as they can fit.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
But their plan doesn't work out, so Rick has to commandeer a portal home while Morty engages in a shootout with the customs officials. Morty ends up killing dozens of aliens with personal lives and loving families.
They're not robots, Rick!
It's a figure of speech, Morty. They're bureaucrats. I don't respect them.
Blew up the Zigerions. Kidnapping people isn't the nicest way to get secrets, but you can't help but like the Zigerions in episode 4 of the first season. After a series of simulations within simulations, the alien scammers maneuver Rick into a situation where he gives up the recipe for concentrated dark matter.
Grab that bucket. Okay, 2 parts plutonic quarks, 1 part cesium.
But as usual, Rick is 1 step ahead of them the whole time. The Zigerions try out the recipe and blow up their entire ship, which would have been bad enough, but of course the show adds this little tidbit right before they all die.
And listen, I'm sorry for yelling earlier. I couldn't ask for a better staff. I love you guys, and I love all your families.
Man, it's like Rick can only destroy things with families. Cronenberged the world. Rick's done some pretty bad things, but leaving an entire reality in the grip of horrible suffering might be one of the worst. After inadvertently making the entire population of Earth fall violently in love with Morty, Rick fixes the problem with a little science.
What are we gonna do, Rick?
It's gonna be fine, Morty. Relax. I whipped up an antidote. It's based on praying mantis DNA.
When that turns everyone into bug monsters, Rick fixes the problem with better science.
It's koala mixed with rattlesnake, chimpanzee, cactus, shark, golden retriever, and just a smidge of dinosaur. Should add up to normal humanity.
That's when the episode gets dark. Rick's new serum also backfires, but do Rick and Morty stick around to fix things? Nope. They just abandon everyone in the world to a lifetime of suffering and take the places of their dead selves in an alternate reality.
Rick! What about the reality we left behind?
What about the reality where Hitler cured cancer, Morty? The answer is don't think about it.
Created Abradolf Lincler. The first season finale introduced a ton of new awesome characters, like Bird Person and Squanchy.
Is there a good place for me to squanch around here?
Squanchy, you can squanch wherever you want, man. Mi casa es a su casa, dog.
All right!
But the strangest guest at the party has to be Abradolf Lincler, a mutant creation with the combined DNA of Abraham Lincoln and Adolf Hitler, who was abandoned by his father/god, Rick. The existential pain of this guy is just off the charts. And Rick, being Rick, couldn't care less. Even when Abradolf Lincler sacrifices himself and things get emotional and people start crying, Rick's only got one thing to say.
Well, at least he didn't die in vain. He got these crystals. And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba lubba dub dub!
Because there's nothing like sacrifice and emotional torment to kick off a party, right? Abandoned Jerry forever. The Cronenberg episode left the original version of Jerry in a mutated hellhole, but Rick wasn't done with the guy. In Season 2, Episode 2, Rick drops him off at a facility that basically amounts to a giant daycare for Jerrys. Dozens of versions of Jerry wander around in various states of confusion and distraction, waiting to be picked up again. But one room contains all the Jerrys who were completely abandoned by their Ricks and Mortys.
These are the Jerrys whose Ricks and Mortys never came back.
These guys are stuck in a nursing home on an alien planet. Forever. Talk about depressing. Created and destroyed a universe. Rick's got a pretty heavy god vibe going throughout the series, and nowhere is that more apparent than in his choice of car battery, which contains an entire universe whose sole purpose is to well, power his car.
You have a whole planet sitting around making your power for you? That's slavery!
It's society. They work for each other, Morty.
Basically, Rick's car battery contains an entire civilization of sentient, intelligent beings, who happen to be so intelligent they make another battery with its own micro-universe. And Rick has zero problem smashing that battery to pieces, killing the civilization inside.
Oh, hey, guys! I just finished cooking us a feast!
You monster!
Yep, that's all of these guys, and their families, smashed out of existence. By the time Rick and Morty escape the car battery, all the creatures inside know that they're slaves, and they have no choice but to keep their meaningless existence going.
One of two things was gonna happen. I was gonna have to toss a broken battery, or the battery wouldn't be broken.
Is this guy the worst yet? Almost. But there's more, because there was also the time Rick and Morty slaughtered innocent aliens. In Season 2's penultimate episode, Rick and Morty stop for windshield wiper fluid on a planet which is about to commence the festival.
You've been able to sustain world peace because you have one night a year where you all run around robbing and murdering each other without consequence.
That's right.
What? It's like The Purge, Morty. That movie, The Purge.
Rick convinces Morty to stick around and watch The Purge, and they try to save a girl, and it all backfires when they get caught up in the middle of the mayhem.
The hardest working liver in the galaxy, Morty. And now it has a hole in it. I hope it was worth it.
I was just trying to do right!
Yeah, well, that's not really the theme of tonight's party. Heads up, rapists.
In the end, they strap on a pair of powered battle suits and go to town on the townsfolk, killing just about everyone.
You're really going for it over there, huh? I think those people were just hiding.
I don't give a sh**.
Put deadly bacteria in ice cream. If there's anything Rick cares about, it definitely isn't Jerry, and we got solid proof of that in Season 2's 8th episode, which opens with Jerry in an alien hospital projectile spewing toxic vomit.
Watch out for that stuff. It'll stain if it gets on your clothes, and it'll send you into a murderous rage if it gets in your eyes or mouth.
Which happened because Rick stored some mutant bacteria in a pint of Cherry Garcia ice cream. And because of that, Jerry comes close to getting castrated so his genitals can serve as another guy's heart transplant. But in the end, as terrible a guy as Rick may be, one thing's for sure, he always has the situation under control. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.